Sach on the ones and twos, trying to get used to it.
What is up, world? How are we doing? Here we go, ladies and gents. This is the BCS, and we got the Parlay edition today. Guys, live on YouTube, Twitch, and X, and the fellas are in the house, baby. Full house today, guys. We got it up and covered for you, as well as we toss out those free plays each and every day, guys. So be sure to follow the social media accounts. We are up and rolling, and we are ready to go. Got some good topics for you today, and a nice little parlay as well. But let's do a quick roll call around the room. We got to introduce the boys today, and we got a special guest for all of you, which we are excited to have. We got North Glenn's finest up in here. We got the Sach man in the house. Sach, how we feeling?
Feeling good. Yesterday was a pretty solid day for us. Just glad to have everyone here. Appreciate Hayden coming on, making his debut, and we got a bunch of games to go off of. Like he was saying before, 9 NBA games and 20-something college hoops tonight. So. Got a big pool to work out of. I like my play, and we're due to hit one of these. We're due, So what a perfect weekend it would be to finally get one of these. So I'm ready. I'm looking forward to see what we got.
Absolutely, Sach. I'm cruising, and of course, ladies and gents, we got just one man with a glass in his hand. We got the Witster in the house. Wit, how are we feeling?
Feeling good, man. Yesterday was good. Some big NCAA upsets. Virginia getting knocked off. NC State wins again, so I think they're road ins today. But I got to play for everyone. I think I'll be carrying the baton first today, so hopefully I don't drop it out of the blocks. But I got a good pick for you from the NCAA platform today.
Absolutely, good to have you here, Whit. And of course, guys, we got the money man himself, Big E, in the house. E, how we doing?
Hey, doing good. Outstanding. I'm glad Whit didn't hit us with a pony pick today, so that's exciting. Some horse race. Hey, the madness has already started. I'm watching the Princeton Brown game right now, and Brown's up 22 on Princeton in the second half. They were a 10-point favorite, Princeton, so it's tough. NCAA is tough when you get down to these.
Yeah.
Last 2 days in the conference finals. So, but yeah, I'm excited, happy to have a guest here. I don't want to take up his time.
And of course, guys, we got our special guest in the house, an amazing ball player, businessman himself, and a nice military friend. We got Hayden Graham. Hayden, how are we doing? And thanks for being here.
Doing good, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. I've heard about it. I've been trying to get on, but I've just been so busy. So I'm happy to see what you guys got going on. I'm excited to see what the show's all about. Like, I know you guys talk some crazy sports. It's my favorite time of the year, to be completely honest, because March Madness is about to start picking up. Everything goes crazy in the college basketball world. So, it's the national holiday, the first 2 rounds of March Madness here in a few days. Don't count on me to do anything. So,
yes,
absolutely. We'll appreciate you
sir.
being
Welcome.
here, brother.
Welcome.
Guys, again, we are live on YouTube, Twitch, and X. And for all the live viewers and listeners in the chat, throw some questions our way. Show us some love. Smash that like button. And we got our parlay of the weekend for you guys. Let's get it up and roll. I'm excited for this one. What's for you, Sach, man? You're on mute. You're on mute, my guy.
My bad. I'm gonna go in the Warriors game. I'm gonna go Andrew Wiggins over 11.5 points. Steph Curry's back, so that's obviously already added into his point total. Going up against the Lakers, he typically plays well against the Lakers. The last 2 games, he's at 16 and 17 points. Obviously, that was without Steph Curry, but Wiggins always plays the Lakers well. He's hit this in 8 out of the last 10 matchups against them. In both times this year, in January and then in February when he played the Lakers, he had 22 and 20. So he scored 20 plus in both of the matchups against them, and now he's finding his rotation back on the team. His first 2 games back from his absence, he had like 15 minutes 14 minutes. But now he's already up to that 30-minute mark, playing good defense, playing well. And, he's going to expect to get 30 minutes again tonight, shooting the ball really well, shooting the 3-ball well as of late as well. And, 11.5 points against a team that he loves playing and scoring 20-plus against already twice this year. I like him for 11.5 tonight, pretty easy. So that'll be my play that I'm rocking with today is Andrew Wiggins over 11.5 points.
Nice. I like it. 5:30 start out here.
Oh, yeah. You got a little early one. 6:30 start.
Love that Pacific Standard Time. I like the Pacific time for the late games, but man, them early football games, boy, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, facts.
What you got cooking up, Whit?
Yo, I'm gonna go at 10 o'clock today, man. We got Purdue, Wisconsin for the third time this season. First meeting, Purdue wins by 6. They played them in the last 5 games. They won by 14. I think Wisconsin covers today. They got them at plus 5.5 at -110. It's tough to beat someone 3 times. I think Zacky's going to get his. He's going to eat 24-7 like he normally does. But I think Wisconsin covers. They may even squeak out a win. They need it, so more so than Purdue. And I think that's the thing at hand. So 10 o'clock today out here on the West Coast, 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. I think that Purdue covers, or Wisconsin covers the plus 5.5 against Purdue. We'll see how it goes, but it's tough to beat someone 3 times. And both those games, the 14-point game wasn't what it looked like on paper if you actually watched the game. So Wisconsin's always well coached. I think they cover today. So I got that plus 5.5 Wisconsin at Purdue. So like I said, 10 o'clock out here. So hopefully I don't mess this up coming right out the blocks. But -110, you can get it either way. That's what I like this morning.
Yeah, that's like 45 minutes away. We're right out the gates with that one.
You gotta get it out there, Whit.
Hey, man, I got that Sunday swagger on a Saturday, man. I don't like the people. You're either going to make money or you're going to have some things to watch the rest of the game. If not, then, you can go to the gym and do some healthier things after they lose. But I like them. I like them to cover today.
E in the private chat the other day was like, I like the leadoff position. I think that's what I do well at. Whit comes on today. I got the leadoff. I'm going with it.
I just need E to bump me over. That's all I need. I know he's got the 2 slot because he's an early guy too. He's in the Ivy League. I would venture to say he's in the Ivy League, or he's somewhere at a midday East Coast, West Coast playing on the East Coast NBA game. That's what I want to go where I think he's at today.
I like
you close.
Get it in here first, guys. It's okay to bet the singles as well. You don't have to parlay these. We just do this parlay every Saturday, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. You catch us here. This is the Bet Champ Show. But our singles have been hot as well. And if you guys know, Big E has been off and rolling. He's been streaking. So we'll get going for the next play.
All right. So you're halfway there, Whit. And I had an early game too. I got a 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time game. It's NBA. I'm staying off the NCAA today. It's going to be interesting to hear Hayden's take on that. But there's just, man, ghost and goblins come out in these conference weekend final playoff game. And, you saw it last night. Again, I told you about, I like the Ivy League. Browns pounding Princeton right now, down 20. Princeton was a 10-point favorite. You don't know what's coming out. So I'll be back tomorrow probably with some NCAA. But for today, 1 p.m., going Cleveland at the Rockets, and I'm going Donovan Mitchell over 23.5 points. He's back. He's playing. He's full cleared. They're missing Mobley, missing Strauss. That's a combined 27 points a game. And Donovan, he can't wait to get back. What's that? Go ahead.
Fucking Strauss. Struess.
Struess. Yeah, my bad. Struess.
Max
he ain't
Struess.
on the level yet.
Max
Yeah,
Struess.
Max Struess. I appreciate that. So I got 2 other NBA plays I'll talk about later, but that's my best play today. Donovan.
Hey, and real quick on that Princeton game, you can get it at plus 980 right now for Princeton to cover 13.5. I just laid that, so I like the 13.5. I think they'll close the gap in the end, man. It's at plus 980 for them to cover. 900 now. It went down to 11.5, so it's moving right there. But I'm a big in-game guy, so get that in-game with Princeton. I think they're going to cover those 11 to 13 in-game.
Princeton is down.
Yeah, they're down 20. They're gonna cover. I'm watching it.
There's 14
Watch
minutes
closely,
left.
Whit.
There's 14 minutes left. They got to make up 9 points. They got to make up 9 points. They
But
can
then you
cover
still
that.
don't cover this.
No, they're going to cover. They're plus 13.5 in game. At
Oh,
plus
I got you.
9.
Okay, yeah, they're down 18.
Yeah, so they just got to,
Okay.
Yeah. So,
All right.
yeah,
Just checking, make sure.
down 12.5 now.
Here we go.
Hayden was like,
We'll
that's
go.
a pretty big bucket.
Yeah, that's a huge gap.
And a big gap.
We'll
We'll
go-
go 2 left.
We'll go to our main man himself, Hayden Graham. What you got for us?
Let me say this first. Y'all do this way better than I do, so I'm not too deep into the parlays and all that stuff. But I got 2 college basketball picks today.
Oh,
Mountain West. I'm loyal Mountain West. That's where I played, so I've been keeping up with them heavy this year. And everybody's good in the league this year. Everybody's been beating each other. But I think San Diego State this time of the year, just San Diego State's like they just do it. They turn on a switch. And New Mexico, I think they got the same record, like 25-9 or 24-9. They're both really good teams, but San Diego State's going to turn it up today. They're both hot, but I think they carry it. I think they have like -2.5, but I think they run away with it, to be honest. Like it's going to be a 10-point game. And then the one-off, super risky, but NC State has been super hot. They're one of those Cinderella type teams. I think they play North Carolina today. I hope NC State takes it, and that's what I'm going to lean on. But I know that's a super risky bet. But that's all I got.
Hey, Hayden, I like both of those. So NC State is at plus 10.5, and I think they cover that. I think they cover that today because they have to win to get in. If you think about it. And then the San Diego State, watched the game last night at a local bar out here in San Diego. That's where I'm at. And, man, that team is just – they're experienced. They're undersized, but they play the right way down the stretch. They just the younger teams, if you don't have good guard play, because they're a more physical team. If you don't have good guard play, and they're men because they've been in college for a while, they just tend to make it happen this time of year. I think they win today as well. But that's about all we got out here in San Diego, man. The Padres are. The Chargers moved. We got the Goals in here now, some minor league hockey team, the women's soccer team. They're trying down here, but San Diego State is still all we got. So, but, yeah,
San Diego State is the place, man. Like Viejas Arena, I don't know if you've been, but that is like one of the coolest college basketball venues there is. That's my favorite place to ever play. So
I try to get the boys out here, but they keep wanting me to come to Denver. You know what I mean? I'm like, why don't you guys come out here, shovel out, get a flight?
This is HQ, baby.
All right, man. Good to have you.
Up to corporate. Hey,
I love it.
Hayden,
what's up?
can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
Could you? I mean, you played D1 and you played in some big games, and you're talking about NC State. How big would you say momentum is? They're a 10 seed. It just seemed to be clicking right now. Everything's going their way going into it. UNC won the ACC regular season, but what happens when you're playing that buzzsaw? And let's say you go down to this 10 seed. Like, how real is the momentum and then the pressure for that 1 seed playing a 10?
That's like the most beautiful thing about college basketball specifically is like you can have a couple guys really get off. And I think momentum is the single biggest factor in this time of the year in college basketball. We see it. You can have a 1 and a 16 go up against each other. And realistically, there should be no chance against that. But like momentum is the largest factor in sports today because everybody, and I don't care where you look at it, you can go down to D3, NAIA, JUCO, D2, D1. There are hoopers on every single level of basketball. That's very different from like an FBS to an FCS type situation. Like hoopers just hoop. And if they can have some momentum, they believe in the fact that they're like running this race, they can knock off anybody. So I really think if NC State comes out today with the same energy that they finished off against Duke, there's nobody that's going to stop them. So it's like North Carolina better be prepared to play, or NC State's going to carry that momentum all the way into the tournament.
Hayden on here dropping John Maxwell, 21 irrefutable laws, the law of the big Mo. Yeah, the momentum is huge, man. And the thing about NC State that I like is everyone knows their role. No one's trying to do too much. They're just playing their position. That's where I think Duke, they don't have an identity. If McCain's not doing what McCain does and flips, they kind of get out of sorts. When you see them, their offense is not fluid. NC State, it's not pretty, but everyone's trying to, there's effort out there at all 5 positions. And North Carolina better be ready today. Now, they could get blown out, but I think NC State covers that 10.5 for sure.
Yep.
And I'm glad Hayden brought up some of these college teams and everything. And for all the live viewers and listeners right here, right now, throw us in the comments section. Let us know who you're rocking with going into March Madness. Throw your comments up on the live show. But I like that he brought that up. We got Selection Sunday coming up, right? And the beauty of this tournament, kind of to what Hayden was saying, is some of these higher seeded teams, there is nothing to lose at this point. So you just got to go out and play, and you're going to see a lot of upsets to come. What I also love is we got a lot of Colorado teams that are looking to get in the tournament, which is always huge and everything. But this is the absolute best time of the year. Take the days off, right? Watch basketball all day, see what's going on. You're going to see some upsets, get some brackets going, but absolutely love it. So we'll definitely do a selection show probably Tuesday this week. We'll go over what just happened, Selection Sunday and everything. So I love that. But for my last pick of the ladies and gents, I'm gonna carry us. I'm gonna be the anchor tonight, and I'm gonna roll in the New York Knicks versus the Sacramento Kings tonight. I love this. 4th in the Eastern Conference, 6th in the Western Conference. We got a little battle here tonight, but what I really love is I'm taking bread with the New York Knicks at +3.5, -110, guys. I really love those odds. Good bang for your buck. And what I like here, and E will kind of touch on this too. I mean, Tibbs is just gonna play. Coach Tibbs is gonna play his guys. That's what he does. They're grinders up there in New York. I really like it. New York kind of been a sleeper team for a while, but you saw their run last year in the playoffs. They're not to be messed with, and they're getting bigger and bigger as the year progresses this year. And as we talked about in prior shows with the Eastern Conference, you just got a bunch of dogs there. The Western Conference is pretty tough, but the East is really up to grabs. You have obviously Boston in the 1st seed, but we've kind of said it here ourselves. I mean, if they don't get things going, the Eastern is really up to grabs tonight. So again, I'm rocking with New York. You can get the spread at +3.5, -110. 2nd in defensive rebounds, which I really love. 2nd in second chance points over there in New York. I think it's going to be a great ball game. It's a primetime game tonight, guys, but we will lock that in for the parlay of the weekend. We'll be cooking, Sach. We cooking with grease?
Oh, we're cooking with gas. So, yeah, we got 5 legs. So just so I get this right, we got Wisconsin +5.5. Donovan Mitchell over 23.5 points. Hayden, I just went with San Diego State money line because it's at like 140, if that's all right. And then
Yeah, that's good.
I went Andrew Wiggins over 11.5 points. And we got the Knicks spread at +3.5. 5 legs comes out to +1838. So $10 wins 183.
Wow,
Oh.
it's a lot of juice. It's a lot of juice, Whit. How much you putting on it, Whit? How much you dropping?
Man, last week, man, I had to drink expired milk. No, I'm joking. No, I'll probably throw a twomp on there, man. No big deal. I mean, I spend that on 3 rounds at the bar, so no big deal. You know what I mean? Throw a dub on there. Ain't no big thing. I tell you what, man. You got me second. I wanted to go San Diego State. Look, man, San Diego State. Just to talk on them a little bit. They beat UNLV in the 1st round in Vegas, and then they go and beat Utah State, 18th in the nation, not in overtime. Who they play next? They beat the next team in overtime. Who was it? Utah State by 16, and then they got fucking New Mexico tonight. So 2 teams with less than 6 losses, they're getting through this. It'll be interesting to see where they're seated in the tournament and with that experience of last year. So. They've had a tough road, but man, last night was convincing. So I like them to win today, but I'm still gonna. I think Wisconsin covers though, so I'll stick with them since Hayden already got the money line on that. But I'll probably throw some on San Diego State too. I like them to win today.
I love it, guys. As you saw with the parlay plus money opportunity, don't bet too much on this, guys. We don't do parlays too often. We just do it once a week and everything. It's okay to bet the schools. That is our bread and butter here at the Bet Champ Show. We give you results. We're going to give you the best plays possible. It is okay to bet the singles. So out of the 5 plays, you could bet all 5 of them just single and see how we do and match up. But you can spread a little on the parlay just for that chance. But we always love to throw you guys that out every Saturday. Now that that's kind of in the books, I kind of wanted to touch back on. We got a little more time in the show. I wanted to touch back on kind of some NFL news, what we've been seeing and kind of been talking about over the past week and everything. Obviously, with free agency, saw some big moves. the one we were kind of talking about in the private chat yesterday, right? Obviously, Russell Wilson goes over to the Steelers. They end up getting rid of Kenny Pickett. That was kind of huge going on in the news that I had saw. A lot of weird stuff kind of happening. Some teams making some big moves, like we talked about Tennessee, the Chicago Bears. And then, of course, we got Sacha's Cowboys and my Broncos just kind of doing nothing at the moment and not looking too good so far. We'll start with those, man. Kind of where are you at right now?
I mean, yeah, the Kenny Pickett one was a little surprising because I thought at least Russ and Kenny Pickett were going to be able to battle out for the starting spot, especially because you didn't pay Russ like he was guaranteed starter money. So that was interesting. But they said Kenny Pickett, once they signed Russ, that he just wanted out. And unfortunately, Kenny Pickett, like, you're not good enough to really, complain about it, especially with how you performed last year. But so now it seems like Russ is the guaranteed starter. We have Jameis Winston. Where did Jameis Winston go? He went to Cleveland, right?
Cleveland.
Jameis Winston went to Cleveland. He'll be starting in no time because Deshaun Watson will end up getting hurt. Something if he just jams a finger, he's out for 2 weeks. And he's a guy that'll fucking pop up on the injury report 5 minutes before the game. We saw that shit last year. I got banged by him bad last year when he did that. So Jameis Winston starting quarterback for the Browns sooner than later. I mean, we saw what Joe Flacco made them look a hell of a lot better when he was out, being the quarterback. And so that was interesting for me to see. Ease Jets, right? You like the Jets, no? Ease
Yes,
Jets got Tyron Smith. So you guys can use him for about 12 games. He'll pull his hamstring or hurt his knee, sooner rather than later. I hate to throw out the injuries, but this is just what happens. You're gonna have Tyron Smith, bro, for like a couple games, and he's just gonna be down. That's just what he does. And yeah, Zeej, me and you were just flowing out into oblivion right now, just not even getting to enjoy free agency.
It's just over there touching yourself, man. Them two teams not doing nothing.
Oh my goodness. They said the Cowboys are trying to get Diggs.
I think that'll happen. I think that'll be a draft.
I don't know how that'll happen, but we'll see if it happens.
But
So
I was going to ask this too, real quick, Whit, because I saw this with Sach and everything. I saw Stephon Diggs. He was taking all of his stuff off Twitter, taking all of his like Bills associated type of stuff. Obviously, so that might be big here in the next couple of weeks or whatnot. We've been seeing, and we've kind of talked prior on the previous episodes and everything. There's definitely been an impact in that locker room. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. You could kind of see it near the end of the season. Guys kind of not on the same page with everything. And I know Whit kind of big on the Bills down there and everything. Whit, how are you feeling right now with what's going on with that? Any insight on your end?
I think we got a lot of soft tissue in the league, man. Fucking Pickett wants to leave. He doesn't want to compete. Perfect spot for him to develop for one or two more years in his home state and then take that job over. But to your question, same thing with Diggs. We saw it in Minnesota. I don't like Diggs. I've never liked Diggs. He's a front runner. I think when times get tough, he folds like a lawn chair and he just wants out. I think he's making Allen's job much more difficult. I think Allen needs to understand he doesn't need to do so much. But they need to get him some players, man, on the offensive side of the ball. They let Dave Davis. They're going to lose Diggs, which is fine. I think his best years are behind him. It'd be interesting to see if they trade up and get someone. The running back situation, I think, is secured for them. That was a huge thing. But, dude, with the Chiefs getting Hollywood and the pieces they have, the AFC, I haven't talked to Shefty yet, but I'm hearing that Jefferson to the Bengals on a 3-year, $100 million deal. They signed Chase 3 years to $100 million, and then they go from there. That would be interesting. But, dude, the Bills are tough, man. I think I don't know if you get rid of – I like McDermott, but they need something different, man. They need something different. And when you lose someone like a leader like Jordan Poyer and you got Von Miller wrapped up with all that money – they're in a bad spot, man. They're in a really bad spot. But I just can't believe these players that don't want to compete. Like, oh, you picked up Russ. Russ wasn't great last year. You know what I mean? But you don't want to compete. You don't want to develop another year. So you go to Philly. Now, I think it says something where Philly thinks Jalen Hurts is. I think Hurts is a guy like Steve McNair. I think you're going to see in his rest in peace. But I think what you're going to see in his career is the way he plays is so physical. He's going to miss 4 games a year, and it's just that's going to be the trend. So I think Pickett, that's still a lot of pressure staying in his home state. But man, I like Pickett, but come on, man, compete. Me and E were bantering about this yesterday. I don't like Daniel Jones. He's a backup, overpaid, but he got paid. Who was the other one? Oh, Ritter. I never said anything about Ritter. He went to my Cardinals. I think he's a solid backup. He's not a starter, but I think Pickett could actually play.
Jones.
I think,
Yeah, and then you had Matt Jones winning the MVP.
Oh, you were talking about Mac Jones. Look, all right, mark it. 12 minutes, 32 seconds, couple episodes back. Trevor Lawrence gets hurt. Mac Jones wins 2 straight. Since Sop says he can't win 3 straight, the offense is on schedule. The pieces are there. Do you insert? You have an issue. One's a game manager, but you still go back to the Pennington and it doesn't look good, but he's much like Chad Pennington, man. He just gets. I think if you get a team around him, Mac Jones will get it done. And here
I just saw a video on Mac Jones. He's looking big, bro. Mac Jones is
he's looking a little
big.
chunky.
He's looking huge, bro. This dude was fucking looking. He looked like a lineman. I'm not even exaggerating, bro. He looked big as fuck.
That man was built like a horse.
Man, if we sit on here and talk about Jason Tatum this way, man, Souch walks off the set. You know what I mean?
Jason Tatum just busted up the Suns, 23 points in the first half.
The Suns play no defense, dude. The Suns play no D.
Hey, Suns just beat the Nuggets. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Hey, this isn't the TNT show. This isn't the TNT show. It's not 1, 2, 3 back to me. It's my time. This is my time. All right, settle down, Such. All right, it's not 1, 2, 3 back to me. Yeah, thank you. And we're talking about Kenny Pickett. How we get into yes. Settle down now. So one.
Well, I was gonna tell Hayden the context within that was the context within that is everything is Witt in the last episode pretty much said Mac Jones was gonna take over Trevor Lawrence's spot.
I didn't say that, man. Man, you got communication issues, man. Look, I said Mac Jones could very well have a 3 to 5 game stretch where do we put Trevor Lawrence back in? Or Trevor Lawrence's confidence gets shook if he gets hurt and he gets back in, has a bad half. Dude, he didn't finish the season incredibly well. And that playoff game, he looked atrocious in the first half. So you got to look at some things. I like the Jaguars. Doug Peterson's not afraid to do what he needs to do. Trevor Lawrence is a starter, but I think it was a good move to bring Mac Jones over here. Don't act like, I'm anointing him, but he is an all-pro, and he did play under Belichick's system, which you basically could put handcuffs on him and shackles on his ankles. You couldn't do nothing. Had no weapons, nothing. You want to talk to
my apologies, Biggie.
Yeah, apologies. He talk.
I got nothing to say. 1, 2, 3 back to me. That's all I know. Okay, let's not rehash that. So get back to Pickett. Okay, there's 32 starters in the NFL in the entire world, and he was one of them. I think you have a lot. You're an A-type, you're a competitor, and when you bring a guy like Russ in, he just says, hey, I want out. He's going from one back up to another, but he just wanted – that's what I believe happened. We'll find out as we go. Plus, I knew some of the players last year liked him. So if you're management, you have to look at that. It's who's coming in to replace him. Tyron Smith, yeah, we overpaid him, but I think for the Jets, their concern is to protect Aaron. They picked up 3 offensive linemen so far, and they're probably all getting overpaid. But when you look at the asset they need to protect, they're going to pay the price, right? So, and I know he gets injured, but hey, if we get 12 games out of him, Aaron had 2 plays.
Yeah.
Towards Achilles. So, yeah.
And the Jets got 1 or 2 years to really, really do this thing. So, I mean, it was good. It was a good signing for sure.
Yeah. So
I'm somewhere stuck in between what Biggie's saying and what Witt's saying, right? Because in one regard, you want to protect your career, right? When you're trying to move around, figure out what the next best move is for the longevity piece of whatever league you're playing in. And so okay, Pickett gets up and goes. Could it be a smart move for his career? Sure. But I also really agree with what Witt's saying from a competition standpoint and sitting through it and kind of competing, because I think the culture of athletics is shifting so severely. And now with the introduction of the transfer portal and all of this stuff, we're starting to see kids learning that it's okay to just run away from any level of competition, because it's like, oh, I'm at Alabama, I don't have a chance to play because I'm a second string. I'm going to transfer. I get it if you're fourth string and you really don't have any hope of seeing the field and some other Power 5 wants you. But when you're a backup and you're going to transfer immediately because you're not seeing the field as a freshman, that's going to bleed over to the league. And talk about the competition that Whit was just talking about. I think people need to sit in it and like be able to fight for the right to play. And then also like that builds team chemistry, that builds cohesiveness, and that builds depth. Because if Russ comes out and does not play well like he was in Denver for a while, like who can they lean on, right? You just left an abandoned ship, and now you might not be playing somewhere else. So I'm going back and forth between what y'all are saying, but I like both pieces.
Two things, Hayden, to that. Why I didn't like Pickett leaving. You left one of the most stable franchises in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I believe even with Russ there, your window for playing and being a bona fide starter again is shorter than going to Philly, where that organization towards the end of the year, they're talking about, do they get rid of Sirianni? They brought some big moves in, but they just paid Hurts. Like you're not going to get an opportunity to showcase your talent. Where I think in Pittsburgh, Russ is going to get hurt. Yeah. And then the other thing is Russ is on the other side of that hill. You know what I mean? So 100%. I just didn't like it. But maybe there's something else that will come out there. But Pittsburgh being one, I mean, there's only a few franchises in the NFL that are really, really freaking solid. And Pittsburgh is one of them. So it'll be interesting, but I would have loved to see Pickett just sitting that and you know, he had the locker room, just fight through it. And who knows, he could have beat Russ or just another year to digest the playbook.
I think so too. I agree.
Yeah. But exactly to what you guys are saying and everything, I totally disagree. Right? You had a quarterback competition pretty much over there in Pittsburgh, Pickett, Russ. And that whole thing is, you know, Pittsburgh's got nothing to lose with Russ. They're not paying him a damn thing. The Broncos are paying for him to be there, right? So they can afford for him to not play well as well. And I felt like the opportunity for Kenny Pickett up over there was really the ceiling. You know, how good are you going to compete, quarterback and everything? And then he goes now to the Eagles. The Eagles are paying Jalen Hurts a hell of a lot of money. He's on a huge max and everything. And to what you guys were just saying, Coach Sirianni might be gone next year, especially with the outcome that happens this following. With, you know, they were 11-1 last year, guys. Ended up blowing that whole thing within the season and whatnot. So going over there, I don't see daylight for Kenny Pickett. I feel like he had a great organization over in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin is one of the best winning season coaches in all of the NFL, right? You had that going for you. And they're really on a trial period with Russ now. You know, he's getting $1 million to just be there and whatnot. So, yeah, to what you guys were saying, I think it was a poor move, poor lack of judgment and just low confidence over there. We'll see what happens and everything. It's definitely going to be interesting now to see kind of Russ, too, with a new head coach and a head coach with a great winning system. Go ahead, E.
And here's another thought, because none of us were in the room. And to Hayden and Witt's point, he signed so fast with the Steelers, right? I mean, it was day one. He was, I think, the first one that signed out of all the signings. I think it was already determined before he signed he's going to start. And that might be what pissed off Pickett, is there is no competition.
And you think Tomlin would do that?
Because why would Russ, when he had other suitors, why would I just jump right into Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh said, hey, come in, you'll start. We're going to announce it that, you know, the best guy out of training camp gets it. But Pickett said, hey, I don't even get a shot at this. Man, get me out of here. That could be a realistic view, too, because think about how fast he signed.
But I understand that. But, okay, so you go to Philly where you know you're not going to start?
True, but he's more mad. You know, it's like a relationship. He's more mad at the wife now than he is the next lady. You're not giving me. I've been here 2 years. You're not giving me a chance to start.
I think that.
Okay, just give me anywhere but here.
I think the worst thing you can do is walk into the first bar you see down the street and pick up on the first girl you see. That's the worst thing you do.
True, but you're not thinking that when you're going through it. Right?
One when she's not stable. That's why she's there at 3 p.m. drinking.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But you're not thinking about that. You're more in your feelings. And the other piece to it too is he has a team. He has an agent and others that are in his ear, trying to talk to him as well. So
Well,
But I don't
it
know.
sounds like he needs a new team, to be honest, because it doesn't sound very logical. Like this decision was, I mean,
I think
if the argument's in place to what we're talking about today, like the move does not make sense. But there has to be another dynamic layer to it that we just don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't. I don't know. I think a lot of these athletes got too many people around them that tell them what they want to hear, so they can stay on the team versus what they need to hear. Like I said, you bring up a great point. None of us were in the room. We don't know. I'm sure there'll be something. But yeah, he did sign quick. But I don't know. It'll be interesting, man. I think they go 10-7, 9-8 again. That's just what the Steelers do, you know. And even with Russ, I just don't think they move the needle that much.
There we go, guys. The BCS. We're here on the Saturday. Shout out to all the live listeners, viewers. I see you there up above. Appreciate you guys being here. Throw some comments, throw some questions in the chat, guys. We'll always throw you guys up onto the screen. Get the conversation rolling. Make sure to follow us on the social media accounts, guys. That's at The Bet Champ Show, TikTok, Instagram, as well as you can find us on X. We're tossing out plays each and every day, off and rolling, giving you the best bang for your buck. As well as me and Sach, you can catch us in the morning every Monday through Friday, 30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, guys. We're giving you the early odds and giving you the best results. And shout out to Big E. He's been off and rolling through the week with all of his plays. Absolutely killing it, guys. Like we say as a collect, we do the work for you. Shout out to our app Outlier. You know, we're giving you live real-time stats showing you what the possible trends are. We're always rocking with the same trends, and we want to give you the most bang for your buck. So shout out to all the I appreciate everyone being here, and kind of wanted to now, we'll start with Sach. Open up the floor, kind of any new news you guys are seeing, NBA, NCAA, or NFL, kind of any topics you wanted to throw out there for the show.
Sheesh. It's a good one. I'm trying to think of what to really talk about. Do you guys got any ideas?
I got a question for you guys.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh yeah.
What do you guys feel about the dynamic with Bronny James in the upcoming draft? I saw a bunch of the NBA execs talking about you need to sit and stay in college, but obviously there's that pressure from LeBron saying like he could play in this league today. I'm just curious about y'all's opinion. I have my opinion, but I'm curious about y'all's before.
I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll tell you what I think. I think he needs to stay at USC. Now, and I'll tell you why, because you're hearing and what the draft boards are saying is that he's not ready for the NBA. I think LeBron, I mean, he loves his son, and there's no doubt. You know, I'm not getting into that stuff, right? He loves his kid. That's why. But I think when he made that statement that Bronny can start for the Lakers today, it put so much pressure on Bronny's shoulders down at USC. Here is this guy saying you could be a starter in the NBA, and he's not even. I know he starts, but he's not even. And I have to look at it, but I think he's averaging like 4 points. Is it?
Yeah.
He's not doing much
really,
with USC.
He's gone games without scoring. You know.
Yeah.
So stay another year. Get well rounded. The dream grow, but the other side of that coin, I think the dream for both of them was to play in the league together and play on the same team. So LeBron knows his window is closing. Let me get Bronny up here and do this. But I don't think he's ready. And then when you get there, can you imagine the pressure that's on that guy? You probably could, Aiden, because you know I don't want to share any salt. But your dad was a professional sports player. He played professional ball. You had a brother, D1 college, and you know you grew up around this stuff. So there's a lot of it's a lot of pressure. And, Bronny, to stay one more year, man, hone in your skills, find out from these scouts what you need to work on and do that. But he's going to get paid. He's been getting paid on the NIL. So, I don't know. That's my take. I want to hear you guys.
He's making so much money off NIL. It's crazy. I mean, he doesn't need it. Like, they got the whole James Trust, whatever, but, like, he's making bread sitting in college, like, doing his thing. I know it's not the end goal for him, but, yeah, I agree with you. I agree completely.
Yeah. As a father myself, I'm not going to get into. I think LeBron James, from outside looking in, has been a great role model and a father. I'm not a huge LeBron guy, but I think in that aspect he's done well. But I think there are things that, not being in the room, not being in a relationship, that he could have guided his son, and I would have probably done something different from what I know of the situation. I think he's being incredibly selfish, LeBron James. Instant gratification rarely leads to long-term happiness. I think Bronny has a man frame at 6'3". I think he has the genetics. I think he's fundamentally he's pretty sound. I don't think he's going to be his dad, obviously, but he could still grow. You never know. But I would have shipped him off or asked him to go somewhere else where he could have got better developed than at USC. I'm a USC fan. Their basketball program just generally doesn't develop, especially backcourt guys, very well. Go to UNC. He had a lot of other offers, a lot of other options. In addition to, I think him staying longer is beneficial for him. He had the heart condition. There's a lot going on around that young man. Stay another year, stay another 2 years, develop, work on your game, and then go. I know they want to play together, but is that worth him being out of the league in 3 years potentially versus maybe having a nice 8 to 12 year career, as a Bledsoe or because I think he's going to be a strong kid that can play defense very well. I just don't think he's going to fill it up like his dad does. So those are the things I think LeBron is, and I understand where he's at. I mean, who wouldn't want to play with their son? But USC, I think, was a bad choice just to keep him close to home. I think he could have went other programs that got developed differently. And then the second thing is don't reach for the instant gratification because it could be a detriment to the young man, especially the heart thing, man. Like, let him get past that. Let him have a full year, man. We all know when you have an injury like that, it's the next year. He's probably not been right this whole year. So that's my take. Care about the young man. But that's where I'm at on that.
Thanks.
Huh?
What you think?
Oh, no, I mean, shoot. Just
Bro, you prepared.
I thought you were going to talk, Zeke. My bad. That's why I didn't hear you. I think it just broke out.
I can go if you want to.
No, it's too late. No, I agree with pretty much everything they said. He's going to have to
Clowns.
You can't force, trying to him out of college right away to just try and, go play with his dad, which is obviously not even a guarantee. But I mean, the whole heart thing, it just set him back like probably a whole year. I mean, in all honesty, like to even have the confidence to go back out there, I'm sure a lot of mental stuff he had to go through to feel comfortable, but he's just not built like that right now. And he's not scoring the ball. Good defender, good wing defender. And I've been saying it. I think he could be a damn good 3-and-D guy in the league. He has a pretty jump shot. He can shoot the ball, obviously, like if need be. And yeah, I mean, I could see him just being just literally a good 3-and-D guy, wing defender in the league. And you'll get paid a fucking premium in the NBA if you can do that at a high level. So, I mean, he's still going to have a damn good career. Grayson Allen's a good guy that's just, catch and shoot, solid wing defender here and there, but just roles like that. A KCP is another good example. So, they're at need in the NBA, and I think he can get to that level. But right now, yeah, I think it's just best that he just, obviously stays another year. And the thing with the NBA executives, those NBA execs all the time, they need to start putting faces on these quotes because these guys will hide in the dark and just talk shit about players, but they'll never come out and put their name on it. It's like if you're an NBA exec, go put your name on it. Like if that's how you feel about it, then why don't you just say it?
We don't live in that culture, Sach.
I know, but
I do think because like LeBron is not
about Bronny, but they bashed a lot of players, and then there's been some NBA execs even a couple months ago talk shit about Bronny, but yeah, they'll never put their name on it. So.
What's that, Hayden?
No, I was just saying, like, we were talking about pressure, too, of, like, getting to the league to play with Bron. The guy just seems to just be immortal or something. So it's just like the timeline, he's still doing things that should not be possible. He's, in my eyes, still one of the most prominent players, top 5, top 10 players in the league easy, right? And he's putting up statistics that would have arguments that are surpassing – field goal percentages within X feet from the rim, or like defensive stops. Like he's doing MVP numbers, right? Field goal percentage was like it's next to Shaq, right next to the rim, and it's just like on his MVP season, MJ's MVP season. So the dude's season year 21, not dropping off. I see him sitting in the league still, like for I don't know how many more years. I'm scared to even put a number on it because he's just going to shatter every record and sit there for as long as he possibly can.
So how do you feel about
Here's kind of
Bronny?
how. Go
So,
ahead.
B,
You said what?
How do you feel about Bronny? Like, that was your question. What's your take?
Yeah, so I think he could be. I think he's a league player. He can be. He's got the genetics. He's got the IQ. He has a great IQ. You can tell that all the way from high school. He just needs some development, and I think maybe a couple extra years, another year, like everybody else said, like get past that psychological barrier of coming back from an injury, like near-death injury. That's huge. Some people don't even ever recover from that. But the fact that, do I think he's going to sit in the league? Yeah, just not next year. And he could honestly even go out, sample the combine, talk to teams, because the way they change the landscape, you can just come back as long as you don't hire an agent. So it's just like, test the waters and then go back to school. And then, yeah, he'll play with his dad before it's all said and done.
Here's what I kind of think on the whole thing. Obviously, you got to let the kid just play, man. You got to let him get the feel for the game, kind of know where he's at himself as a person. He can obviously, he's LeBron James' son. He could definitely get drafted this year, but that's not to say he would do anything, right? He would get drafted solely on he's LeBron James' son, right? Now everything going on with the NIL money and everything, rush getting out of college. You know, you're making good money there already, and you still get the chance to develop as a player. As Sach was saying, I mean, he's got the great mindset, and Hayden was saying this too. IQ, everything you could want in a player to go to the NBA. But I mean, the dude's not even the best player on his college team right now. You know, he's still kind of learning the game with those guys at that level, and he's going to get there. I think right now there's just so much pressure being created on the outside for this kid. He needs to just, you know, it's what everyone, the other side of the story is, let him be a kid, let him learn the game even more and get to that higher level. Regardless if it's this year, next year, or 3 years from now, I mean, he is going to the NBA, right? He will be there no matter what. So rush it right now, you know, still build your craft and get this thing going. I just think, you know, the media, to what Sach is saying, they're just blowing this thing out of proportion to where it's, I could only imagine how Bronny James feels with all this outside noise coming in, you know, because there's probably a little bit of that's kind of weighing on him. You know, he does feel his dad's LeBron James, right? There's always going to be pressure for him and everything, but he's just got to be his own man, his own person.
Y'all remember when he changed his number in high school and said he didn't want to be known as LeBron James' son by wearing the same number? People were like, brother, your name is LeBron James Jr. you can't escape this.
But the thing I'll say about like he changed his number, and like there was a video I saw. He was the one who switched his name for to Bronny. So I think he does have that aspect of like he really doesn't want to be like attached to his dad in like any way. Like,
but
even
it's hard.
Yeah,
Think about it. It's the same thing with MJ's sons. Like that was difficult. You can't escape it. That's a curse. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. It's a lot of pressure. My dad was not like the greatest safety of all time. Did he have a great career? Sure, right? But like even that, for me, was a ton of pressure because it's like you have a professional athlete as a father, the expectation of everyone around you, everyone who knows your family, relatives, is like, oh, yo, here come the Graham boys, next William Graham. And it's like, damn. Like,
let me ask you a question about that. I was gonna tell you something else I'm excited for NBA wise, but let me ask a follow-on question with that, Graham. I've heard a lot of children of famous or very successful athletes or musicians, etc. I'll take one of my favorite artists of all time, Tim McGraw. Once he was like kind of meandering through life and found his birth certificate and found out Tug McGraw was his dad. And at the time when he found it at 12 years old, he actually had a Tug McGraw picture or a poster on his wall. He said from that moment, and I've heard this from other athletes, is it gave me a confidence to know that I came from something like that and I could be that. Before that, he didn't believe that was even possible. Did you have a sense of confidence because you knew it was in your genetics, or you had family members that were successful at that level? Do you feel like you had a different mindset or a different belief in yourself that others may not have, embarking on a first generation type thing?
I do, and I did. Yeah, I think my brother and I both did. It was more like I'll give the example, draw the comparison to like the 4-minute mile. Like I saw somebody run the 4-minute mile firsthand, right? To where it's like my dad did this. It's not hearing stories or watching the news, having nobody in your family ever done it, and being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go try to pursue this. Like no, somebody just did it. So like now I know I can do it, and it's a mindset thing. And it is a matter of like those parents are probably a lot tougher on their kids too, and they're trying to lay the foundation, the expectation of here, this is what it's going to take for you to get there. So from 2 years old on, when they're starting to like speak things to you, you're building a different type of mindset, but you're more like you're going to be more battle tested, you're going to be more resilient because you're already catching heat from everybody with all these expectations. And if you just can't rise to the occasion, that's okay. It's not for everybody. But I do think you have an advantage because you're essentially being groomed from the very beginning to be able to weather these storms, to be able to manage the talk and the narrative on the outside. So sure, does Bronny James get a lot of talk and a lot of heat? Yeah, but I can guarantee you LeBron James, as his father, has told him and groomed him how to kind of like block that out and push it away, handle your business, and then lean on him with his expertise to go be as great as he can possibly be. Like, it's a difficult thing, and I think they have it so tough. But you are different. You do have a different level of confidence, and you've seen it firsthand, like the 4-minute mile.
Yeah, same thing with like Prime's kids and stuff. I always tell my son, a lot of people say you learn through 3 things. And I think you either experience it or you see it, you hear about it. You probably had some more firsthand accounts and vision than other people. So you had 2 of the 3 covered, or you read about it. That's kind of the way that humans, learn and stuff. So that's interesting. I've always wondered that. Never had the opportunity to ask an actual high level athlete that question. So appreciate that.
Yeah.
There we go, guys. Off and rolling on this Saturday. Hell of a show today. Appreciate all 5 you listeners. See you guys up above. Give us some love. Smash that like button. Give us any comments. We got about, I think we're going to take a ride. Kind of wanted to go around the room. Thank everyone. Just get some last comments out from the fellas today. Of course, we'll start with Hayden today. Appreciate you being here, my man. Always a pleasure. You are always welcome on this show. Pleasure having you. Kind of wanted to open up the floor for you and the audience. Where can the people find you? What are you doing right now? Any projects you're working on? I know you got a lot of business stuff going.
Yeah, man. You can find us, my brother and I, we created a joint Instagram account for our business down here in Texas at Graham Brothers. That's what we go by. That's the brand we're building. And right now, honestly, like obviously you guys mentioned it. Our military spent a lot of time at Trevor, especially with Zach and Big E. But I'm out of the military, doing residential real estate down here in the Austin, Texas area where I was born and raised. So it's nice to be back home. But we my brother and I founded a military organization called Rehome, which helps military members, vulnerable movers, PCSers as they pick up and have to move to new cities, right? So we find the most compatible realtor candidates for them based off of their home buying criteria. And we plug and play, give them the options so that they don't have to worry about that in the midst of like a complicated move and all that. So a lot of my energy and effort recently has been going to that, building that out, trying to get the awareness out there to all these military members and veterans who need it. Because these dudes in the uniform, who ever put on the uniform, deserve the white glove experience that the corporate world gets. And it almost seems like the military kind of gets neglected in that sense from just like a convenience standpoint. We always try to make it hard on each other. So that's what we're doing to try to bridge that gap, giving the best single experience and getting the best tools and resources to make the home buying process as simple as possible. So that's what we've been focusing on, trying to get that off the ground.
Nice. Good deal. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks,
that's
Hayden.
Absolutely. Yeah, guys. Shout out Hayden Graham. Give him a follow, him and his brother, guys. I can promise you will not be disappointed. He's got some big things coming, and he's going to grow quickly. I can promise you that. Hell of a show again today, fellas. We'll just do a quick around the room. Any last, comments you guys want to throw out there and everything? Had a great live audience today. We're going to keep this thing going, but we'll start with the Soch man.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before we started, we got to hit one. I like our plays this week. Or today. I mean, I like them. It's all sounding good. I think Wits tips off right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got Wits tipping off right now.
The lead off.
Hopefully the lead off, don't fall right out of the gates because, to be honest, I don't like to be lead off. But
hey, man, take that energy somewhere else, man.
No, I said
hopefully. How about words like I believe? I'm
believe.
optimistic. You know what I mean? He is going to be the rudder that propels us.
It takes
off of this fucking embankment. Come on, man.
It takes a certain character. Neil's a steal to lead off. It takes a certain kind.
That's why we leave it. That's why we leave it to it and eat. I mean,
look, I'm like Corey Seager too, man. I swing at the first pitch a lot of times too, man. It's going to be dead red fastball. So, and we're going to go ahead and bank this one. This first one's a gimme. Like,
no, I know.
Hey, and ZJ, can you ever go counterclockwise and start with E? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? But
go ahead, E.
Listen. Okay, I'll go. But so we know again, 1, 2, 3 back to me. Stuff has to stop. We got to have an order, and then there's a reason why the main event goes last. I mean, come on, you're trying to have the headliner start the show. Yeah, no, I have two other plays today that I like. They're both in the NBA. Take the Bulls team total. Man, this over 118. I'm going back to the damn Wizards. I know I retired them, but Wizards are allowing teams to score 10 points higher than their normal points per game. The Wizards have been in Cabo for a week. I don't know if you saw Shaqtin' a Fool, but yeah, the Wizards are gone. Yeah. So I do like the Bulls over their team total of 118.5. So that way, even if the Wizards are getting blown out, it's because the Bulls are scoring. And then probably a half a play. I like the Knicks going with Z, but give me the Knicks under in the Sacramento game. Not Knicks total, but the over. Give me the under of 220 total. Knicks are 28-6 to the under after trading for OG. And let me just bring this up here. Their last 3 games, they held opponents 93, 79, 73, 74. And the Knicks aren't going to score that much to cover back up. So, but that'd be about a half a play on that. To ZJ's point, he brought up the Knicks earlier. Hey, the one thing you're going to know, if you don't even have to be healthy. If you can get on the court, Tibbs is going to play you, and he's going to play you for 40 minutes. So I was watching that Portland game, and the starters win right to the buzzer. And they're all dogs on defense. So I like that as well. Hayden, man, welcome aboard. Good to see you again. It's an honor to share an office with you and play boot golf. Yeah. And that'll be my final words right there.
Hey, great.
Shout out Glenn Franklin.
Yeah, great having you, Hayden. I gave you a follow already, but so what I'm most excited about, I think, is probably going to be one. I've talked about it before, but we've had some movement. And you got a big game today. You got the Lakers, Golden State today. Golden State favored by 2.5. If the playoffs were to start today, they would be playing each other in the first round of the play-in game. I think I love the Warriors. I'm a huge Warrior fan. I love Steph Curry, but Steph Curry hasn't been able to get it done against LeBron on his own. And I really want to see him have some statement wins. I think knocking LeBron out of the playoffs, this is the first step to having some confidence going in that play-in game. So let me tell you where it sits now. You got Phoenix in the 7 spot now, and Sacramento shifted up. They're tied, just a head-to-head thing, both 8 back. Dallas, Lakers, and then Golden State. So Golden State in the 10th spot, but they're 3.5 games up on the next team, being Houston. So that's going to be exciting to see those 4 teams, even if Sacramento slides back down, go at it to play in, to have another game to see who gets the 7 and the 8 seed. That's going to really, I think, set the tone, definitely in the West. And in the West, the Nuggets are the class of the division, but, man, OKC, Minnesota, the Clippers, New Orleans, Sacramento, the Suns, Dallas, Lakers, Golden State, all those teams, man, it's going to be interesting. And then it's just great to see the Knicks, Boston, the Pacers, these teams back in, because I think the East is just a different type of basketball as well from the West. So I'm excited for the NBA playoffs, probably the most excited I've been in a long time for it, but definitely those play-in games this year are going to be exciting. So I think today I would love to see Steph, get some confidence going into that potential matchup as we enter the playoffs. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And then I'll be watching the San Diego State game, watch the Purdue game now, and then also the UNC game tonight. Those will be on my slate.
Awesome, fellas. Like we said, I just want to throw out there, to the viewers and listeners, huge show, right? We talk all things sports, toss out some sports picks and everything. That's our niche here. We love doing it. But we're a community here as well, guys. You got some of the best people in the show right now. You got some seasoned mentors, you got some young mentors. So give these guys a message, a comment, or whatnot. Especially with Hayden, I know he'll get back to you. Anything in the real estate area, as well as life mentoring as well. These guys are here for you. You got Whit, Big E over in the corner. I mean, these guys are some of my top these are the best mentors I've ever met in the military. And I'm just, appreciative to be able to do this show with them. But reach out to these guys, sports-wise, life-wise, as well as Sach himself, talking about the grind and whatnot. These guys are here for you. That is what we do. This is the Bet Champ Show. Appreciate all the love we've been getting on the social media. We're continuing to grow. We're going to keep doing that, guys. We're going to keep giving you the results, keep giving you the content you guys love and like. But you guys are just as much a part of this show as we are, so we appreciate all the love. It's been going great, and we're going to keep it riding. We'll tune in probably. We got the Monday show, obviously, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, the after-hour show, as well as the Thursday one. But we'll probably throw in like a Tuesday show this week since we have Selection Sunday coming up. That's going to be a big topic for us, and we'll get the bracket challenges going, you guys. But again, just appreciate everyone being here, especially the Hayden. Again, welcome anytime. Thank you for showing your time for us. And let's get it, guys. Let's get some more extra cash in our pocket this week, and we'll keep it carrying on. So from all of us at the BCS, baby, that'll do it. EP out.
Appreciate you guys. You're doing what you're doing. This is awesome. Y'all are crushing this, honestly. Like, I appreciate you letting me on. And I'll come back to you for sure.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on, Hayden.
Hey, late breaking. We got Braden Smith's got a calf strain, and then Zach Edey an ankle, so may not play for Purdue. So we're a game time decision here. So we'll see. They're warming up now to see if he can go. That'd be huge. So
you take us off live, Sach.
We're looking good.
You take us off live. You want?
Oh, shut